You talking about that over there?
I ain't
Over
even
there.
done arms yet. Shit. I
But what
am.
you say? You said
And
Ayers
with
where you
that,
park?
we're back.
Adam, you said where? But you said
welcome,
where I park? I
welcome,
park
welcome
over there.
back to the Cookout episode 21. We got Adam and Eris as always.
You know,
For if we're listening, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio. After this, you're not missing much. They're just flexing their little biceps right now. But Adam, Eris, how we doing?
Little.
the guard, man.
Yeah.
Did
The
you
guards,
even
man.
lift today, Adam?
I'm lifting after
Oh, okay. Late night lift
a little
session.
late night session. You
You
know what
doing
I'm saying?
arms today? They're looking a little small.
First off, don't let the shirt fool you. It's the only size that they had left.
What size is it?
A large. Extra large, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Eli.
So
Yeah.
a large would have fit the arms a little better. You're saying.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure. It's
okay,
a little
okay.
XL, so it's a little, yeah, I
Yes,
got a
sir.
little
But you're tall though. Like you should
extra.
have an XL, no?
I'm tall I'm not on a tall upper body.
You got short torso.
I have a tall lower body, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think I like what's happening here.
Yeah, I
I
don't
didn't mean
really,
to, oh,
think
I
I
didn't
like
mean it
that
like
at
that.
all. Yeah.
I didn't mean it like
I
that. I
don't
didn't
think
mean it
that
like
we like that
I
at
I
didn't
think
all.
I'm a
mean it
fan of
like
what's
that.
happening.
I didn't mean it
So we're
like
just gonna stay
that. I
pause
just
and
have
then move
long
on.
legs.
Eris, how was your day, bro?
And work, man. I need to become rich at some point.
Hey man, same, bro. We trying
I
to get
just
like
need to
Adam when
become
we
rich.
grow up, bro.
Trying to get sponsored. Sponsor us by whatever this says.
Well, that's not a good pitch to get sponsored.
This
I'm
is
gonna have
good though.
I think I'm gonna have to teach you a little bit of how that works, so we can start getting those partnerships. But until then, I will continue to do the legwork on that. Eris, I see you got some Fago though. Where you get that at? You know, there's only
Boy,
really one. There's only a couple places that we know. You know,
boys
where
was,
Faygo be
what I'm saying?
sold at.
Boys was at home, Boys was in the hood one time. Had to stop by and stop by the
What you had to,
gas station, scoop a little Fago.
what you had to give back to the community? Or-
Had to get back to the community, man. They don't sell that where I live at. But where I'm
Okay,
from,
okay.
they got them on every corner.
Dang, so you really, you really Nipsey out here, bro.
All my life. I've been grinding all my life.
I ain't seen wouldn't they say? Wouldn't they say Nipsey said
Shootouts in broad day. It was crazy.
bars,
Bars.
bars by Nipsey. Adam, you were saying before the show that you had to tell a story about you needed to go
Yeah,
back.
man. I feel like not there's anything wrong with the people I'm around. But I feel like they're having a negative effect on how I'm acting.
Is your voice
So
a little
this
higher pitched
week,
or something?
not the high pitch, man.
Okay, okay.
First, there's an air fryer in the kitchen. All of a sudden,
I did see that.
when it got a blender, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
the kid that went to Target
No, during the
2 days
daytime,
in a row,
2
2 days in
days
a
in a
row.
row.
I've been to Target 2 days in a row, and when I realized it was what was it Saturday, I was out for a run at night,
Out for a run at night.
and I realized
Okay.
what the hell am I doing?
Hey, here's the thing: you running at night is bold. Actually, you running in neighborhoods where you guys live right now is bold because, as you know, we can't always run everywhere. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. I think I'm getting too comfortable. I'm gonna have to go spend a week back at the parents' crib just to
okay,
readjust.
okay. uh, yeah, I mean, I get a feeling of that because I will go days without seeing somebody that looks like me,
Right?
unless, unless the Boston Celtics are on my TV. Because there's no diversity in Boston at all. So people look at me and they'll be like, damn, he must be somewhat important if he lives here. Is he a Red Sox
Yeah,
or something? But yeah, I mean, okay. So got NBA second round. Caesar back. Caesar back. not gonna
Good.
overreact. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to overreact after game 1. Saw a lot of YouTube saying that the Bucks have figured out the Celtics, and the Celtics defense is a little overrated because they play the Nets. But we'll get back into that a little bit because we just saw our guest get back into his seat. So we're
The
gonna
GOAT.
do the GOAT.
He is the
Okay.
GOAT.
Provided a lot of TikTok content for us. If you don't follow us on TikTok, we do post clips on TikTok, but we're gonna bring back our designated The Cookout NFL senior analyst.
Senior.
Tyler Henderson. Round of applause. Tyler, welcome back to the show.
Yes, sir. What's up, baby?
Okay.
Looking drippy.
Damn, bro, yeah, the hat go kind of crazy.
Hold on, man. Is that baby blue brim on that hat too?
No, it's green. It's green. It's green and gray.
Oh, the top is gray. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
What-
cold.
What kind of? Yeah. Explain the fit. What else you got on? Fit check.
A little, a little Columbia blue. From
Hey!
I'm playing with the Columbia blue, man.
Hey man, my boys, man, the originals, the ones that put me on.
Hold on.
And I got some blue light glasses because I can't see no
Hey.
more.
I
So,
see my reflection look kind of nice on the thing.
Hey, you might be old, T. I ain't gonna lie, you
Yeah,
might be
man.
up there.
Here's the
it's
thing, I thought-
crazy.
When I was looking at before I pulled his camera up on to our screen, I thought he had one Bluetooth on his ear. I was gonna say,
Hey, man.
Big time.
Dog.
Always working. You got
I got the two
That's
phones
okay.
like Adam Schefter, baby. I got the recruiting phone. I got my regular phone. It is what it is.
speaking of
I ain't
somebody
gonna
who
lie.
needs to go back to the hood, I thought when he said 2 phones, Kevin Gates was about to come. But I forgot he's a Cookout senior analyst. So
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie. That one earpiece, that one Bluetooth, that sounds like something right out of Jerome's playbook.
Hey, that boy Rome used to have the one back in 2004. My man Rome was rocking the one earpiece.
I know he
Happy,
was.
too.
I
He
know
was
he
like,
was.
yo,
old
I can
school.
talk and I can drive. Man, you come a long way in life.
well, we appreciate your time. Sorry that we're a little bit late.
Oh,
This
here's
is-
my drink, by the way. Little
Oh.
chocolate milk Fairlife.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Isn't Fairlife under fire for some?
Probably, I don't know. I got some Oreo cakesters.
Okay. I mean, I always
about 2 of
enjoy
them.
chocolate milk, but I thought Fairlife was under fire.
They probably are. They do some
Okay.
shady stuff.
They might
Quality
be-
milk though. Quality milk.
Right. hey, man, Papa John's. You know, Papa John called us the N-word, but you know what?
Hey, I haven't
Pizza
eaten Papa
kinda
John's
smack.
since. I haven't eaten
Your
Papa
pizza
John's
kind of
since.
smack though.
Cannot say the same.
Chick-fil-A too. But
Chick-fil-A. We gotta just eat that.
Also,
I should
Bo,
be
I sent
ashamed
you
of
my,
myself.
I sent you
But
my
I'm
draft board.
not.
you sent my draft board
I sent you my draft board. I emailed it to you.
like just now.
Yeah, like probably 5 minutes ago.
Okay. I was waiting for like 5 days ago. And I was like, oh, that's chalk. That is chalk. Well, all right. Well, thanks for joining us again. Sorry I was late. I had a softball game tonight, and it started 30 minutes late, and then I totally forgot. I've been on the go all day today, so this is my fault.
Big
Did you
time.
at least
Bo.
win?
Huh?
Did you win?
We did win by 8.
Okay, it's semi-acceptable.
Yeah, no thanks to me though. I actually hit like shit, but you know,
Don't
defensively-
snitch on yourself. I always tell my guys, never snitch on yourself.
Hey, man, I'm always gonna be honest. I mean, I'm the best hitter in the league, so I'm not worried about it.
You didn't have to tell us the truth. You just didn't have to lie. You could have just said nothing.
It's saying that the dashboard or the file you sent me is unavailable.
Okay,
No.
I will.
So I'll let you resend it.
Can you
or
just text it to him? I texted it to Eris and Adam. You guys can just send it to him. It's
perfect?
in, it's in that group text.
Okay, cool.
I'll do
All
it.
right, so we brought you out to recap the NFL draft. You know, some winners, losers, some big surprises. I mean, this draft was kind of hard to predict just because of the talent pool. You know, the
Oh, boy,
quarterbacks,
I
things
tell
like
you.
that. It was kind of nuts. I mean, most trades. I think what was it? Trades in the first round, most trades in the first round ever, or anything like that. Did anything really surprise you other than the amount of trades?
Yeah. So, I texted some very notable people around the league. I texted a Cowboy scout. I texted somebody high up in the Patriots front office. I texted
What?
somebody from the Chiefs.
Like flex.
And
What?
I was just like, And I was like, hey, are there going to be any trades you think in this first round? They're like, one guy said it was really hard. One guy said yes because it's a very deep draft. And the Patriots, obviously, they don't tell you anything. They just kind of tell you to fuck off politely. So was I surprised? I was a little surprised by the amount of trades. Other surprises, I was surprised that nobody likes quarterbacks anymore. That was a little bit surprising.
That was nuts.
And I'm surprised that you didn't see people reach for positions that you usually see them reach for late in the first round. Like usually you might see a corner that shouldn't go in the first, go in the first. You know, a pass rusher that nobody saw going in the first, go in the first. The tackle that the Dallas Cowboys drafted under a lot of scrutiny. I know Aris wasn't a big fan of the pick. You know, somebody actually told me he's going to play guard for them and be their starting left guard day one. So
there you go. There you go,
from that
E.
standpoint, it seems like they got a good player.
There you go, E.
And also, had he stayed at Tulsa, there were a couple SEC teams that were going to try to get him. You know, I know Alabama was trying to get him. I heard the Florida Gators were you know, about to drop off an NIL deal at his house. So he was a hot commodity. I think he's going to be better than people expect day one.
Can you talk about all the Texas Longhorns that got drafted?
Okay.
That's me. That's me.
That is insanely cringy.
Well, I just thought
that's something out of the Russell Wilson playbook right there.
You know, speaking about the best school in Florida, we're now one of only 3 schools to have a player go in every single draft since 1967. Florida State can't say that. So
they didn't
I'm
even
defending my
play
Texas
on that
boys.
team back then.
I'm just defending my Texas boys right there. You know.
Whatever. Florida State's running Florida next year anyway, so we're not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? So not worried about that.
AR-15, baby. Y'all gonna have to figure out a way to stop that man.
We have Jordan Travis. I mean, if he can figure out how to throw a football, we're gonna be nice. You know?
Yeah, if your quarterback can throw the ball, man, we might be on to something.
If our quarterback can play quarterback, we're gonna be nice. That's all I know. You know, shout out Jermaine Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Great player.
Should have been a Cowboy.
Wait, time out. One more thing. Kaiir Elam went before him. So Florida over Florida State, part 2.
That's because he brought a fucking notebook. It was like, here, I take notes. That's his little brown nose. Or he probably wrote all those notes on the fucking plane.
Bo, you sound hurt, man.
Anyway, whatever. I liked Elam too, to be fair. So that's fine. Yeah, talking Aris, you don't even like Florida.
You don't know that.
You just don't like teams. You like teams that I don't like or that beat my teams.
Bo, that sounds a lot like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're not a supportive podcast. We have
to get Harrison Adams some Florida Gator gear. What you mean?
Yeah, I need that drip.
Tyler, I wore my shorts yesterday. I'm gatored up.
There you go.
What are we doing here, guys?
What?
Chomp chomp, baby. Chomp chomp.
Hey, don't worry, man. We'll give Bo a Florida shirt.
I got a lot of Gator gear. My cousin, he played there.
No,
I'm gatored up.
No.
Hey, Tyler, his cousin can run, boy.
What happened to the Bucks team?
Nice.
We'll get into it, but
Cousin can run, boy.
Jaylen Brown went up. Okay, so talking quarterbacks, were you surprised by how far they dropped? Did you think Kenny Pickett was going to be the first QB off the board? Like, where did you think Malik Willis was going to go? Like, were you surprised how far he dropped? And then your boy Sam Howell.
Yeah, I think I don't think anybody predicted they would fall as far as they
are
did.
Commanders.
I think everybody was surprised after the first round. I wouldn't have been surprised if the Falcons took a quarterback in the second round. What they have picked 38.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Philly would have taken a quarterback. I think it was just such a weird class, and nobody kind of knew where everybody would fall. Malik Willis, I think, just he got a lot of draft fatigue, right? Where everybody you just start overlooking it and you're over analyzing it and you're doing too much. Like the Kayvon Thibodeau thing, he was never gonna fall past 6 ever. I don't care what you would have told me. You don't get that type of edge rusher. He ain't gonna fall past 6. He's too good of a player. So I think just the same thing with Justin Fields, right? Now we're starting to look at character issues that were never there, stuff like that. Just silly stuff. Yeah. Stuff like that. Just weird stuff. I think
Work ethic.
yeah, I mean the dude went to he lost in a semifinal game. He played out of his mind in 90% of his snaps. Like, what are we talking about? But I digress.
Kayvon
who was
Thibodeau played for.
Hey there.
Kayvon Thibodeau played for a school that doesn't even believe in defense, and we're talking about him as a player. It's like so like I said, character issues and all that stuff, and motor and all that stuff. It's like, dude, they don't even play defense at the school he's at.
True.
They haven't played defense at that school since ever.
Yeah,
they were
plays
bad
more
for Chip
defense?
Kelly.
Who plays more defense, the Pac or the Big 12?
Oh,
Definitely the Big 12.
They play more defense, you think?
They don't play defense in the Pac-12, Pac-10, or whatever it is. They don't play defense.
Pac-12 is just horrible, so it looks like they don't play defense.
They all
bad,
they're all just like I feel like they're all like really low power offenses that like get the billing of high power offenses. You know what I mean? Like USC gets like they're the best team in the Pac-12 type thing, and they throw Jackson Dart out there to play quarterback.
If you were to turn on an Iowa State game at the right time, though, they might put up 48 points, and you're like, where did this come from?
If you turn on Iowa State like somewhere between the second and like the end of the third, you'll see the best team in football.
Oh, Brock Purdy is lighting it up.
Complete.
I think Brees on number 1 pick. I was like, he might go number 1. I was watching Brees.
Bijan's better than Brees. I'm gonna just say that right now. Bijan.
Well, yeah, come on. Bijan's number 1 pick. Come on now. What are you talking about? What are we talking about?
I just hope someone from Texas gets picked next year.
Well, we got Bijan, so we ain't worried about it.
We have a Bijan.
Not worried about it.
So Tyler, who would you say are your winners, and like who had the best draft other than the Jets? I feel like the Jets are consistent best. And who had
Baltimore
the worst?
Ravens had a fantastic draft.
Dude, what a draft!
Kyle Hamilton, nasty.
Yeah, you get a very special safety, right? A player that you can play in the box, make him a linebacker on sub downs. You got a player that can play the post. You got a player that can blitz. You got a player that if you need him to in a pinch, let him play nickel. So I think you get a jack of all trades guy. You get Tyler Linderbaum, and then you go say, "Fuck it, let's go get David Ojabo." And now you got 2 blistering bitches off the edge. Those 2 are gonna
race.
Those 2 are gonna say, "I'm gonna beat you to the quarterback now." And I think the great thing about Baltimore is, one, if you ever meet somebody from that team, they really believe in the system and they believe in who they are as an organization. They don't take wild swings. They don't take a guy that's maybe he could pan out. They just take surefire things, right? Tyler Linderbaum has short arms. Okay. And what did he do? He dominated. Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, he's a safety. He's not very valuable. Well, what did he do? He won and he played. He was the best player at his position in the draft. David Ojabo. Sure thing. He's not great against the run. I don't need him to be. Put him in on 3rd down. Let him go. So I think they know who they want, and they just say, if you don't want him, we'll take him. And they didn't trade up a lot of times either to get their guys. They fell right in their laps.
Wait. So with the Ravens, what are they going to do offensively this year?
Run.
Run that pen. I do think if you look at the way they drafted them, they drafted another tight end, right? They drafted another running back. So they're going to go back to that 2019 offense where it was handed off, and we got number 8.
Or don't.
He's going to figure the rest out for us.
Yeah, or don't hand it off and just let number 8 keep it.
Now, and then 2, I think they're going to trust the development of the receiver they took last year, Bateman. I think he's going to be he's gonna take a step forward. I think in that offense. You know, Mark Andrews is number 1 tight end. He's a top 5 position or top 5 player at the position. And then they got some other pieces, you know, that might surprise you. They got some young cats that can run a little bit. But I think the biggest thing is the play action shot game that they're going to do. You better be on your game. Your safeties, once your safeties creep up too close line of scrimmage,
right over the top of you, right over your dome.
Yep. I was a big fan of what the Bills did. You know, in that division, you got Tyreek Hill now. You know, you got Garrett Wilson. So I need
been a Longhorn, by the way.
I need a corner, and let's go get Kaiir Elam. Let's play some man-to-man coverage and just be who we are. And then let's just go draft our 4th running back. Now, they have 4 running backs. It's weird, but they all have a different skill set that they bring to you. And I think, you know, in December when it gets to be 2 degrees in Buffalo and there's 13 inches of snow, give me all 4 of them cats and let's roll downhill.
That's a lot of golly.
They got Josh Allen as a running back too.
The Cowboys rounds 2 through 5 crushed it. Absolutely crushed it in the middle part of their draft. You know, they go get, if you go look at that draft board, one of my favorite edge rushers in the class, and Sam Williams. He might be the fastest player at the position in that class.
That boy can run.
He's a legitimate 4.41 type of guy. He's that fast.
Did you get that draft board, bro?
Yep.
So from an edge standpoint, you're getting a guy that's going to be a problem for left tackles and right tackles alike. And I think you pair him with the rushers that they have up front. That's a really good pick. I love the pick with the kid from South Alabama, the receiver that you guys took. Big fan of him. Can run. He'll give you another element to your offense. So I think they did some really good things that not a lot of people will appreciate, but they gave their team a lot more depth.
There's Sam Williams right there.
Yeah, there you go. So those are some
what
of
about
my
the worst
favorite picks. Worst.
I thought it was the Bears. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
no offense to Bo.
Yeah, I don't love what they did, but I also understand what they did. You know, I think if the receiver that you covet isn't there, in your opinion, like I would have taken George Pickens. I was a big George Pickens fan. I thought he should have been a 1st-round pick. Now he's weird. He does do some weird stuff at weird times. He gets in fights. He gets in fights.
Yeah, he do be throwing people into the wall.
Mm-hmm. But I also think like there's a part of me that says like we need a player like that will take on that villain role and just say, "Give me the ball." And I think
I agree.
For number 1 in Chicago, he needs somebody that says, "Give me the ball. I'll win for you. You don't got to do anything else. Give me ball. I win."
Yeah.
The Patriots 1st-round pick, I get why they did what they did. You know, everybody says it's a reach, but for them, one, they always draft weird, right? But their picks always seem to pan out, especially in the middle round. So I understand what they did. I wasn't a big fan of the Bengals' 1st-round selection, where they got him. I don't know what position he plays. He's not an outside corner, and they already have 2 really good safeties.
Who did they get?
So that makes him they got Dax Hill from Michigan.
Dax Hill. Yeah, the kid from Michigan.
So with that in mind, like you get a player that
you don't think they needed a corner? I didn't mind. I thought they needed a corner.
No, I know they needed a corner, but they needed an outside corner. He can't play outside. He's going to play nickel.
You think that's the best player available? Maybe.
Yeah, it probably is. It's probably the approach, but you don't draft a nickel to be a nickel. You draft an outside corner and say we're going to move him inside most of the time, unless it's a later pick. So I think that was just kind of weird for the value. I get why they did it. He's a very talented player. I just don't know where he fits in their defense. In Green Bay,
Boo.
Do they just not like him or what? They just don't like number 12 or
they hate him, and I love it.
So the question with the Packers is, and I get why they are the way they are, right? They always, no matter what, will always draft for their team 4 years down the road, as opposed to saying, let's just win now. Right? That's not their style. If you look at the players that they draft year in and year out, they're always drafting for the future. Right? Screw Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's take him out of the picture. What does the team need? Right? It's not what Aaron needs, it's what the team needs. So I think I understand what they did, but listen, you got a generational player. He's different now. I understand why you do what you do, but at the same time, if the player is above the system, we just go with player. Player wins.
Right.
So in my mind, I think they kind of messed that up. I think you had a chance to really get a really good receiver.
Yeah.
And Christian Watkins is a project to me that he drops the ball a lot. He has a very high drop percentage. He's not a complete receiver. His routes aren't very good, but he can run. So you've drafted Martez, you've drafted Valdez Scantling, part 2. That's all you've done, in my opinion.
And he stinks.
And Romeo Doubs is awful. So
I was just confused that they didn't maybe even try to trade up to get one of these receivers, because I didn't think defense was their problem last year. They scored 10 points in playoff game.
Yeah, I think, and they had at points they had a top 10 defense, so it definitely wasn't their defense. So I think it's.
I'm cool.
It's just the draft philosophy. So.
I'm cool.
I'm fine with that.
Well, wasn't it like their first receiver that they've even ever drafted since Aaron Rodgers has been starting on their team? Like
it was the first one since
Devontae, right?
God. In the second, no, it was somebody after that. It might be since Valdez Scantling that they've drafted in the top 4 rounds.
Okay.
So they don't.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
That's nuts.
How about that? Didn't they draft Equanimeous St. Brown?
They did, but he was a 6th rounder.
6th? Lord have mercy.
I will say one of the most surprising things you saw was the Vikings trade number 12.
We talked about that. They got fleeced, I feel like.
and I get, right, well, the Vikings, what they're doing is they're just stockpiling picks, right? Getting better for the future. They don't believe in Kirk. I get that. Fine. But you don't give him away. They just gave him.
We talked about that right after the draft.
If you look at that board, he was my receiver 1. I think he is a ridiculous talent to get at number 12, all because of his knee. And I get it's a very serious injury, but you're at an age now where that ACL we'll be back in 10 months. We're fine.
Yeah.
Ready. Yeah, we're ready to rock.
What were some of your players that fell that were kind of surprising to you? Like, I think of like Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, and nobody really knew about the shoulder for Nakobe Dean. Personally, I'm surprised Evan Neal fell to 7. I am shocked. Like, if you look at the board, I had him as the number 1 ranked player. A lot of people did. I think he's just a special talent. So that was really, really surprising to see. I was surprised that Treylon Burks fell just because there was a receiver run that happened when it did. I figured somebody would say, there's a big body, let's go get him early, and let's just say, like, this is our guy. So I was a bit surprised to see him fall. George Pickens, as you know what, I have a draft report from George Pickens from a buddy that works in the NFL. Let's read it.
We love this. Senior NFL.
Love to see that. Yeah, you love to see that. That's the things you love to see.
Let's see. And this is more so why he fell. And this is a scathing review.
Okay.
Pickens has a lot of problems. What do you mean? Immature, high maintenance, non-compliant, selfish, not accountable or dependable, low football intelligence.
Well, sounds like some important things that he just does not have, huh?
But he did say he's very, very tough. He's competitive and loves football. He just don't like the extra stuff that college football comes with, like class.
Okay, so
makes sense.
All right, so Randy Moss. So he's Randy Moss.
Yeah, I mean he's
gonna be.
He don't like the extra stuff. That is not for him. You just tell him, let's go play football today. He's good.
All right, cool.
Good
so
to know.
I thought that was interesting. I thought I was weird to see Kenneth Walker fall. I thought he would go a little bit higher.
Good player.
I think he's a very just a steady back. I have him a touch over Breece Hall just because I know what I'm getting out of Kenny Walker. He's going to fall forward. He doesn't dance. He's going to go forward. So I was a big fan of him. Reminds me a little bit of Marshawn. So big fan of his game. I was surprised he fell where he did into a loaded backfield. So the Seahawks just draft funny. They always just do weird stuff. So I think they're a little bit strange. Really upset with the Tennessee Titans trading away A.J. Brown. That was really annoying.
I was going to ask about that. What did you think about that?
I understand they tried, and everybody says, re-sign him. They tried to re-sign him. You just don't not try to re-sign A.J. Brown. He just didn't want to stay there anymore. So they did the best next thing.
Because of Tannehill?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wish I could. I just was not a fan of the situation he was in.
I mean, look at the situation he was in. They bring in, Julio, who, he gets hurt, but they bring in Julio. They got A.J. Brown, and you think, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they also have 22. 22 gonna get the football. It's like,
22 is a problem now. Once he gets going.
Now let him. Now, with that being said, do I blame them for getting 22 the ball? No, I do not. I mean, you got him. Let him run that thing.
I think that's always a good play. So do you think that the Eagles are just going all in on Jalen Hurts? Because Jalen Hurts doesn't really have an excuse but to perform at this point. So do you think that this is like the year to where the Eagles get their answer on Jalen Hurts?
I do, for two reasons. One, they have two first-round picks next year. So no matter what, they can always trade back up and go find their guy at quarterback. And if you let Jalen go, they still have the cap space because they're not paying a quarterback to get one more player. So I think with that in mind, this is the team that's very attractive. One, you're playing in a bad division, right? You're playing in a historically bad division. You're playing in a team that's ready to win right now. You're really good on defense, right? You have a really good number one receiver. You have a really good number two receiver. You have a tight end and a first-round draft pick a couple seasons ago from TCU is now your slot, which he may be bad, but he's going to work against the worst one. So the matchup is at least more favorable for him. So I think, and then they can run the heck out of the ball. And you got Miles Sanders back there.
Speaking of,
is he going to be healthy?
Are they going to hand him the ball?
Well, they actually led the league in rushing late in the week 7 through 17.
So they figured it out to hand him the ball because they didn't do that at first.
They didn't do that at first, and then I'm sure Miles said, "Listen,
y'all.
Let me tote it. Let me just tote it a little bit."
Hey, man. Now, did you see that Jalen Reagor did that thing where he wiped his entire social media and all that dramatic shit?
That shit's weird. I think it's just a weird move, in my opinion.
And at the same time, I would tell Jalen, "You've had time to produce. What do you want me to do? We've done nothing but put you in a position. You started for us. What do you want from us?
True.
That's not our fault." You suck. You figure it out.
You suck. It's not my problem that you're not playing well.
They've attempted to. They've started him. They've put him in a position to win. It's not their fault. They drafted a receiver to help him.
Right.
Yeah. It just seems like I wouldn't even want him on my team if that's the type of attitude you have. Like,
right.
Yeah, like you're getting benched. You can still.
Would you
it's
trade
3 spots.
Would you trade Kadarius Toney for him?
For Jalen Reagor?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Speaking of Kadarius Toney, her buddy's getting the ball. I saw that.
Yeah, listen, the Giants are not the Mighty Mites on offense. All right. If you're under 6 foot, you're our type of guy. If you're under 5'10", you're our type of guy. We'll take you. But I think the Giants are going to move into a modern offense. You're going to see them motion a little bit. You're going to see a little bit of tempo. You're going to see a little bunch formations. They don't do that. They just line up in 12 personnel.
Bro.
Yeah, I saw a stat that the Giants were like 7% on motion offense, and the Bills were 40, who is the GM, and then the Chiefs were 60 or 70. Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
We have the Chiefs OC, not OC, QB coach.
Yeah, we have their quarterback coach, who's the OC for the Giants.
Who's ROC? Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna, if nothing else, it's gonna look cool. If nothing else,
hey, it's like basketball. That people don't just run out and line up where they're gonna line up.
No. Oh, go ahead.
I will say I did think the Giants, they did some really good things. I think the biggest thing for the Giants, they didn't screw it up. I think you see the Giants in the top when they have top 10 picks, they just
we love that.
They do something weird, something they shouldn't do. So I think
I don't know.
They drafted two blue chip pieces, and they attempted to get a corner 3 different times in this draft, and every single time somebody traded ahead of them to get a corner.
Round 2, right? Or was it round 3?
They were going to take Sauce at 5.
Yeah,
it's taken at 4.
I thought they were looking for 36.
Take a corner at 36. Titans take him at 35. Mm-hmm. They have pick 42, and at 41, the Vikings trade up to get Andrew Booth Jr. So 3 times in a row, they were just like, "This sucks. This sucks." Oh, so.
So I'm a QB guy, obviously. So what do you think? Who do you think is going to have the best career, I would say, or chances to start the earliest? Do you think Kenny Pickett's going to start at some point next year? Or, Tengai could come out firing?
Not Tengai. Don't start that shit, bro.
Okay. All right, what QB from this class? What QB from this class is going to have the best career?
Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky. That's Tengai.
Okay.
Bears legend.
I had no idea who that was. Okay.
Oh, they don't call him that in the NFL world? Scouts don't call him that?
I don't think so. Obviously it's going to be Kenny Pickett just because he has that high draft status. And if you're the owner of a team, you want to see the guy you're paying the most money to play football. So with that in mind, he's probably going to be the earliest. That's a tough question, though. I think with the QB class next year, because there's 4 legit guys early. You have the kid from Alabama. You got Bryce Young. You got the kid from there's a kid from Stanford. There's a kid from Miami.
South Carolina.
I don't know about him yet. We're going to have to wait and watch
Ohio
him play.
Right?
Yeah, and you have the kid from Ohio State. And, you can sneak in the kid from Florida if he wants to leave. He shouldn't leave.
I heard about him.
Oh, he's different.
I was reading today on him.
I can't wait till he throws 3 picks against Florida State.
He might do that too. Now, he might run for 170, so be careful with him.
But, he's throwing 2 pick sixes, so he's putting up 14 for us.
So I think with that in mind, I think
that's fine. That's the only 14 they'll score anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's tough to say. I think Desmond Ridder's in a good position to learn behind.
I like
Marcus Mariota. And he's pro ready. He's had a lot of starts. Had a chance to learn. It's just whether or not you think he's a franchise guy after watching him practice year 1. So
true.
I've always been a big fan of him.
Desmond Ridder's gonna be so clean in Atlanta, though.
He is.
He's gonna be clean as hell.
I just hope he don't wear 9. Just don't wear 9. Give me 10, 11.
9's clean though.
Why can't he wear 9?
I just don't like it on him.
9's clean. 9's clean, man. He looks clean in 9.
9's tough.
Maybe I just hate the Falcons jerseys. Their new ones.
The Falcons jerseys now are horrible. I think the number font is the problem.
Yeah, it's blocky.
And the gradient I don't love either. Because I love the number 1, and the number 1 jersey I think is ugly in Atlanta.
But who wears it? Somebody clean wears it though.
I know, but
somebody clean wears it. He gonna be clean as hell, boy. Marcus gonna be so fresh. Marcus Mariota wears 1.
He's wearing 1?
Yeah.
He's clean.
Is he really?
I think that he said it was his high school number or something back in Hawaii. He wore number 1 until he got to Oregon.
He's gonna be clean.
What do you think about so I think Matt Corral has always been a little interesting to me. What do you think his trajectory in the NFL would be? Or do you even like Matt Corral?
Yeah, I think he's super, super talented. Big arm. He played in a gimmicky offense, so I think that hurt him a little bit at Ole Miss. But I do think you're getting a fiery competitor. You're going to get a guy that wants to win, and I think Carolina is starving to find a quarterback. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he takes some early snaps, maybe week 15, 16, 17, just to see what he is. And I think the offense fits him really, really well. I think they'll do a really good job of featuring him and giving him simple, easy throws to start out. He's heavy with the RPOs, so I think that'll help him. Having a back like Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy, will be a monumental help to him. And they have good weapons in Carolina. They got Robbie Anderson, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he can run.
That guy hates Baker Mayfield, by the way.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
I'm glad you brought that up. I have a question about that.
Yeah, you got DJ Moore, and you got the kid from Notre Dame, who I loved when we played him at Bowling Green. What's his name?
Loved him a lot. Apparently.
I can't think of his name. So I think they have some good weapons. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him early. I think it's between Sam Darnold, him, and if they bring back Cam, that's a horrific race.
I think Cam's chalked in the league.
I got a question. So, what do you think about the way that the Browns are doing Baker right now?
I think what the Browns did is they did what's best for their franchise. So, with that in mind, like whenever you have to make a decision like that, like I'll bring it back to like me. Like if you have to bench a player, you don't want to bench a player, right? You don't want to get rid of Baker Mayfield, but for the sake of the team and the sake of your job, you got to do what's best for the team. So I think the best decision was let's go get a young quarterback who is a known superstar that nobody else wants. So I think with that in mind, like I'm not going to say like, are they doing Baker wrong? I guess you could say that, but at the same time, it's always a "what have you done for me lately" league. Everybody gets done bad.
Well, I'm not talking about like Baker as like Deshaun Watson's better. That's not a question, right? Deshaun Watson is a better football player. But my question is the way that they're doing Baker right now, as far as not trading him or not letting him go or keeping him around just to see what you get from Deshaun Watson. Like, what do you think about that part of it?
I think it's a situation where they just don't value what they've gotten back from him. Because I know a lot of teams are saying they're going to cut him. They're not going to keep him on the roster. So we'll just wait until they cut him. Yep. And then from there, it's a highest bidder war. Whereas they say, if you want him, trade for him. So they're trying to protect themselves and get something back. They have a lot of picks, right? Give me 2 5s for him. Give me a 4. Give me, a 6 and a 3. Just give me something back for him. I think they're just trying to get a really good trade. And nobody wants him. Like Seattle, they love that they have
Drew Lock.
They like Drew Lock. The GM asked for him in the trade. Like he wants to see what Drew Lock is. He likes his potential. Carolina. The Falcons just drafted a quarterback. Carolina just drafted a quarterback. So where are you going to put him? Like, who needs a quarterback? The Giants need a quarterback, but the Giants will be in the same situation because they're both mad guys, Yeah.
I kind of think that he's gonna. Do you see a scenario where they keep Baker until preseason? I feel like someone always gets hurt in preseason or during training camp, somebody gets hurt. Do you think at that point, do you see a trade, or do you think that they'll cut him before training camp?
That's a good question. I think they're going to hold on to him, and I highly doubt he shows up to training camp. I do think you'll probably trade him mid camp, probably week 2, probably the second preseason game is probably when you see him get dealt. Because you might see a team that says our quarterback room is shakier than we anticipated. Let's go get Baker for a 6th-round draft pick. And
here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to wait and see what happens. Do you think they wait and see what happens with Deshaun Watson, his suspension?
I personally don't, because he's not gonna be there regardless next year. So I think he just cut bait.
That is a lot of money into the quarterback position, is it not?
It is. It's a ton.
Because Deshaun Watson's getting paid. Baker Mayfield just got broke off, didn't he? Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money in that room.
But you think about it, they're really allocating their money. They just gave Denzel $100 million. He deserved that money. And you got Myles Garrett. But who else is really getting broke off? If you think about it.
That's true, but it just seems like a lot of money to be sitting on the bench and not showing up and
absolutely
not wanting to be there. It seemed like a lot of money.
Yeah. One more question that I have, a little off topic. And then I know Adam has a question before we move on to the NBA. So the Jordan Love pick a couple years ago was always a little confusing to me. At this point, we haven't really seen too much of him. And in the time that the sample size that we do have, we haven't seen a lot, really. Do you believe that the Packers believe that Jordan Love just can't play, or have they figured out that he's not the future and that was a mistake pick?
I think that it's so hard to find a good quarterback until you see diminished play from that position. You roll with what you have because it's so hard. There's not 16 good quarterbacks in the NFL, if you think about it.
Right.
There's 13, and then you're starting to get into some murky water at 14, 15, 16, and 17. Do we have a quarterback? So I think with that in mind, I think you ride Aaron Rodgers as long as you can ride him. And I think that they probably know what they have in him because obviously they know him way better than we do. They see him practice every day.
Sure.
But I think, it's much cheaper, obviously, to commit to Jordan Love, but at what cost? If you want to say we need to keep winning, I get it. And if you do trade him, is that best for the health of your franchise? I'm not sure how to answer that question. I think it's kind of 50-50. If it were me, I would keep Aaron Rodgers as long as I could keep him.
Do you think Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback from your previous evaluations or anything that you've seen from him?
I thought he was talented, but I thought he needed time. So I think I would love to see him play this year just to see, because he's had 2 years to sit and learn. I think the offense is suited for him. I think he has all the pieces he needs. He does hold on the ball a little bit too much. He does make some weird mistakes and weird times in the game. I think he kind of rushes his decision-making a little bit. And we've only seen him play 2 games, so it's so hard. And that's a position where you're going to have to fail forward and keep playing and keep saying, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So, but I was definitely a fan of him. I think in this draft, if you put him in this draft class, he's easily a top 15 pick. I think somebody would trade him to go get him because of his traits and his upside. He's better than Malik Willis. He's better than Kenny Pickett. Let me look at last year's quarterbacks.
I think Trevor Lawrence was in that. And Justin Fields was in that.
Yeah, so with that one, he probably goes, wow, this is actually a really good class. He probably goes 5th in that draft class.
Yes,
He'll
sir.
go behind Zach Wilson, behind Justin Fields, behind Trey Lance, behind Mac Jones, ahead of Kyle Trask.
Sucks. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
That's fair.
No, I just wanted to know, as a Bears fan, after Aaron Rodgers finally leaves the Packers, am I going to be in depression for another 10 years? The Jordan Love? I just need
honestly, you guys should be really afraid of what Detroit's doing. They're building an absolute juggernaut in there. I really think if they keep doing it right, because their offensive line is done, right? DeAndre Swift's a very good player. I think he'll have a breakout year this year. They just got a number 1 receiver. Go ahead.
Are they going to walk out there with number 16 under center?
Yes, but they don't have.
We're good.
But you're good until you're not, right? Until they now. Let's say they win 5 games. Let's say they win 5 games and they go draft Bryce Young. Are you afraid of them yet?
Now we have an issue though. But until they do that, we don't have an issue in Detroit.
All right, so the Bears front office needs to recognize that, and then maybe slide them a win or 2.
There you go, Bo.
For the future. You know what I'm saying? For the future.
I do like where the Bears are headed. I think they have competency, though. Their defense is good. They'll always play behind their defense, right? I think next year is a year. This is a year that's going to be a painful year for Justin Fields, but it'll be a year to say you don't have anything, right? And you got 6 wins. Okay, we're going to help you. We have more cap space next year. We have more draft capital next year. So now we can draft you a receiver. We can go get you one in free agency. Now we can get you some more weapons. So I think
we like that.
It's not going to be a fun season for him, but he's going to be a season where he's going to grow a ton as a player.
Cool, we like that. So it's not going to be a fun season for me. So okay, I'm preparing for that now.
Also, Dustin, I love the Houston Texans draft. I meant to tell you that.
Yeah. So anyway, Adam, I think you had a question.
Oh yeah. So Tyler, when you mentioned it, it sparked me. I don't know why I have anything to ask you about this. Anyway, considering you're a college football coach, how do you feel about NIL?
Yeah.
What are we thinking? And what do you think about it? And if you can, what's to talk about it inside? I guess the locker room.
I think it should have happened years ago, personally, but it should be capped, right? So to me, it like no deal should ever go over X amount of dollars ever, because then you get into, well, I spoke to a kid. I'm not going to say where I was at, but I'm not going to say the school he was talking to, but I was like, would you consider going to this school over this school? And let's just say school A is much better than school B. And I work at school A. And he says, well, what's the money talking about? And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, this school is offering me X amount of dollars. And I said, okay, are you going to play on TV? He said, well, probably not. I said, okay, you're going to play, in front of, 95,000? No. Okay. Would you get drafted, top 50? Probably not. So, and I was like, so you're telling me you're going to give up, let's just say it's $20,000 up front for $2.5 million down the road. Is that what you're telling me? I was like, if that's the case, I'm good. Don't even need you. So I think it will kind of warp the perceptions of kids that are struggling and that they see like money they can make right now. And I think some coaches will prey on that. Right. And I think, but I do think like, if you can get a player if you can get the NCAA to say we can't go over 300,000, I think you'll see you'll see recruiting again. I think it's just highest bidder. It's like an auction. If we can get you this amount of money, then I'll come to your school. It's not about relationships and I want to go to this school and play for this coach. It's just about dollar signs. And if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So I'm not mad at the players. I just think you've gotten to a point to where you might not be playing for the school that you want. You're just making business decisions.
Speaking of like those regulations, man, like I saw a tweet that was talking about Xavier Worthy. Did you see that, Tyler? Apparently he got offered a like 7-figure deal to transfer, a 7-figure NIL deal to transfer to a different school.
I saw that.
Is that like what do you think about that? The bribery.
Is that like tampering or anything?
Tampering is a thing. Pat Narduzzi, the head coach at Pitt, just called out Lincoln Riley for tampering on his players. We actually have a guy that works for us, and his legitimate job is to recruit our current players on the roster and to get them to not leave. Because who's to say that Nick Saban can't call a corner that we have and say, you want to come for $250,000? Why not? Since you're playing in the same conference, you're playing for the greatest coach that's ever coached college football. Why would you not leave? So, we have people on our staff to kind of combat that. And it is tough, right? Because you just don't know who's calling who when and, how, like, what time of day is it and how is this legal? Is it not legal? Because if you point a finger at them, then they can do the same thing at you. It's a messy game. I think, like speaking to other coaches, they kind of feel the same way. Whereas, like, you have to be careful who you call out because everybody's got a little bit of dirt. And everybody's willing to dig to find the dirt. So, it's
grimy right now, baby.
It's a different game you're playing.
It's the game inside the game.
Even parents will be like, so can we get an NIL deal? Like, this might be the first question they ask you. Forget where he is on the depth chart. Forget if this is a committable offer. Forget that. Where's the NIL money at? Where's the deal at? Can you get my son on TV? Like working in New York when I was at Columbia, parents used to ask me, well, how do we get them on a billboard? And I'm like, you don't know how this works. First of all, this is the Ivy League. Let's just talk about the Ivy League first. We want a 4.0 GPA, baby. We don't want no billboard. So, it's just a different game, different time. And I think kids are they just see money right now. And I think they're making decisions based off of, I have money right now. I also think you shouldn't give a 16-year-old or a 19-year-old $350,000 in his bank account. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
What was Jordan Addison getting offered $3 million or something like that?
Yeah, it's just crazy, right?
Insane.
And what happens if that kid transfers? Now you've gotten to a situation. Now contractually, you're in a mess.
There is a window. It's May 1st.
Yeah, it is May 1st, where you can enter the portal
and be eligible for next season.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Last question on NIL deals. Do you think that I feel like conferences like the SEC are always going to be fine when it comes to that? I think people were initially freaking out. It's like, oh, well, like all the top teams like the SEC, like the Bamas, Georgia, and even the ACC, like Clemson, they're always going to be, top dogs because of NIL. It's like, well, they were that anyway. So, Ohio State, like they were, did you say Texas? Anyway, so like Ohio State, they were there. They were going to be that anyway, NIL or not. But do you think, HBCUs, like what Deion's doing at Jackson State, do you think that is going to play a factor? Do you think this is kind of a flash in the pan with Travis Hunter? Travis Hunter, do you think that's going to be a trend, or do you think it's kind of flash in the pan type of thing?
I think first off, everybody in college football is already getting paid, right? And now we've just given it a name and given it a legal face. So no matter what, like the players are going to get something from somebody. You can't stop it, right? You can try to, but if I want a player and I'm a donor, I'm going to get that player. He's going to come to my school, come hell or high water. So I think that's the first thing. I think to answer your question, I think the best thing that HBCUs have done is they've hired familiar faces. Right, just not some random coach, and he may be a great coach, but what Deion Sanders can do is he can go into your home and you know exactly who he is. You can go be with Eddie George, and you know who that is. Mm-hmm. That's the Ohio State running back that went to Tennessee that balled in the league. So I think that's one thing that they saw, and they're now saying, okay, we can use this to our advantage. Before, I think Which HBCU has the most? Like, it has a ton of Pro Bowl players. I can't think. It might be. It's not Grambling. It's not Georgia Southern. But I think they can tap into that because obviously before the SEC, HBCUs were putting out products in the 70s and 80s that you were just like, they're putting up numbers out there, right? Like you look at Shannon Sharp, you look at Jerry Rice. You look at Warren Moon, like all those guys went to those prestigious HBCUs. And I think they're starting to figure out, let's just tap back into that and let's get that culture built up. And I think it's starting to become a more popular thing. And two, like one of the most popular games is the Southern and Grambling game. Like that's one of the biggest games in the country. Like you have your LSU, you have your LSU Auburn, you have your LSU Bama, you have all those games, right? You have the Texas and you have the Oklahoma game, the Red River game, right? And that game it's maybe not as big, but it's 1C to those games. It's a very big deal. So I think, seeing Travis Hunter go, I think puts more pressure on some of those kids to say like, well, maybe this is a really viable option for me.
Yeah, because if you can play, like they're gonna find you. Like
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about Travis Hunter going to a lot of FSU fans. I mean, I love FSU, but our fan base is some of the most ignorant human beings there is. Because it's like now Travis Hunter will never get drafted because he went to Jackson State. That doesn't matter. That dude's gonna go ball out. That dude during their spring game had touchdown catches, interceptions.
He's just he's not supposed to be there with those kids.
If you can play, you can play anywhere. It's like the same thing in baseball. If you play D3 baseball, you can play. Like they're gonna find you.
Talent travels.
Exactly, they will find. To Dustin's point, Dustin said that Hall of Fame is full of HBCU alumni. When I was there, last summer, there's a whole there's a whole hall of just HBCU alumni that are in the Hall of Fame. They have like a special section for that, which is really, really cool to see. Dustin also said that FSU is a softball school. If you are also women's soccer school, very proud of that as well. Don't know. That's all I have for questions. You guys have anything? Did we miss anything? I feel like we covered a lot.
We're good.
What's the score of the Warriors game? That's all I need to know.
Oh, I do need to know that.
That is a great transition into the NBA.
Also, Draymond got knocked in the head, got knocked in the face.
He's going to do an emergency podcast in the locker room.
Warriors down 4.
All right, we got him right when we need him.
To the Ja Morants. Love that.
To the Ja Morants. Did you see Dylan Brooks got ejected within the first 8 minutes or 7 minutes?
How about the first 3?
Yeah, first 3. There you go.
Nah, well, he only played 3.
Wait, who got ejected?
Dylan Brooks in the first 3 minutes.
He only played 3 minutes and got ejected.
He assaulted my man.
My parlay is chalked.
Yeah, he got ejected after playing 3 minutes for.
I needed him to make 1 3.
He did not get a shot up. I don't think.
Into the game.
Chalked.
Vegas
Also,
must have known these little.
Last thing.
Yep.
Adam, the Giants got better. They fired their director of scouting right after the draft.
Good.
So
welcome.
He's been there since 2005, so he had to go. It was time. So I was good with that. And the Ravens texted me today, so hopefully I get this job and can do pause from there.
Yeah,
big Ravens guys, man. We
big Ravens fan over here. BMO, you know what I'm saying? Big Ravens.
I have to bank your BMO, man.
Hey, I'll take
big
Ravens
trust.
gear.
Big trust, baby.
I'll take Ravens gear. You know what I'm saying? If we could have some special guests, from the Ravens, the show.
Billy, let's get Big Trust on the pod.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson tweeted me before, so it's like basically best friends at this point.
Morris Claiborne has spoken to heirs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who plays corner for that team?
Which team?
The Ravens.
Cowboys? Or the
Ravens.
Ravens? Marcus
the corner, safety.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, where you from, homie? Where you from, homie?
Where you from, homie?
Where
you from, homie?
Oh, I meant to say too, George Pickens and Marcus Peters are not going to mix well. That is a bad mix.
Oh, definite fight.
No, yeah, they gonna box.
Oh, that's going to be like about play 15 after the second series. Marcus will be like, I'm not tired of him.
Hold on. Currently,
let me run this.
Googling where George Pickens is from and if we're sending him back. He's from Hoover, Alabama.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't go back.
Any black man from Alabama can't go back.
Can't go back.
that might have to be a rule.
Because I remember when they did that MTV show on the Hoover, Alabama football team.
Oh, what a great show!
It was like, man, they gotta get out. Because they don't really love them there. They only love them on Fridays.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that would be a good matchup. Marcus Peters against George Pickens, because Marcus Peters is not going back either.
Marcus Peters will call a fan and say, let's get it going.
Exactly.
I don't care about none of this jersey stuff.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah. Football was my second option, dog.
And he's cousins with Marshawn Lynch, right? So he's definitely not going back. So,
and George will not back down from that either. It'd be a great fight.
Like, hey, man, you said 2? It was good. Run that.
It'll be Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson part 2.
That was
not good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like Cortland Finnegan at all.
I don't think anybody
did.
I didn't think he was a good player, and he was Pat.
Little known fact, he was almost a Cowboy. My dad had to talk Jerry Jones out of that.
Good man.
It was either Cortland Finnegan or Brandon Carr. You got Brandon Carr.
That's a tough option. That's a lose-lose, but I mean,
they took the better option.
Yeah,
I guess.
Aris, who would you rather have seen it in Cowboys blue?
Myself, shit.
I'm throwing
one of those guys.
I'm attacking Aris.
Neither one of them.
All right, fellas, I'm going to sign off. I will say I have one question for you guys to lead into your NBA segment.
Yes, sir.
Is the flagrant 2 clearly defined in a repeatable call?
No. What's a catch in the NFL? Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the flagrant 2 call personally.
No,
I don't know.
It doesn't. I don't get why you.
It depends on who it is.
So you think it's very subjective?
Who it's on. Who it is and who it's on. Yes.
I don't think it's clearly defined well enough.
Okay, got you. And James Harden is washed, by the way. He's done.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
I mean, and unless he loses 30, if he loses 30 pounds, he's good.
He's got to get in the gym.
Strip clubs.
But my man like his food. He like his strip clubs too much.
Drink too much vodka Sprites.
Now, I've been to Tootsie's. I struggled. I get it.
Him and Lou will go to the club for the wings, bro. It's their favorite wing spot.
And they'll probably go there on a Tuesday afternoon too.
And there till 12 a.m.
I feel like if you eat at a strip club, you're psychotic anyway.
What you mean? Lou
Actually, no. They have some. That's some of the best places.
You ever had the steak?
In the country to get food.
Nope. Don't care.
We're talking about this today at work. Wait. We're talking about this today at work.
Club,
that's some of the best places in the country to get food. You know,
there's a strip club.
Yeah, like they're like.
I agree with T on this.
They're like known for having great food.
I've only been in one strip club, and I went twice in one weekend. You
got to go to the Blue Bloods. You got to go to Magic City. You got to go to
the bachelor party. It was a bachelor party. It was a bachelor party. It was a bachelor party.
Bro,
you both fell in love.
Nah, dude, oh, my girl named Cinnabuns.
How much you spend? No. What's the most you saw somebody else spend?
Oh, my one of my guys on the bachelor party, he spent probably a cool $1,000. And we're in Madison, Wisconsin, so you know the talent pool is not the highest. A lot of cheese-fed strippers. And it was just like, that was my first time. I walked in there without cash. That's how not prepared I was. I tried to pay the cover with a card, and they were like.
When I went to Tootsie's,
ATM fee $15.
Yeah, it is. Mine was 20. When I went to Tootsie's, I saw a stripper walk a man to the vending to the ATM and watched him take the money out. I said, "Oh no, he's down bad."
Yeah, he's not winning. He's not winning.
So my future wife, you will never have to worry about me getting lost in a strip club. I have at least that one.
Cinnabons be different now. Them Cinnabons be
kind of crazy, huh?
Hey, them Cinnabons, you know, them things be hitting different now.
I'll drink to that.
All right, fellas, good luck. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right,
Ty, the podcast NFL senior analyst, college NFL senior analyst. Tyler Henderson.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, bro.
G-Man, baby. We're going to win 6 games this year. Hey, that's really, if you think about it, that's a 2-game improvement. That's great.
All right, to be ads, get a first round for number 1 pick.
You know, Darius. All right, fellas.
All right. Anyway, all right, we're good. All right, so what I just gathered is that the podcast can have to do a live show at a strip club.
Yeah, we gotta test the wings at a strip club. Apparently,
I think yes,
they're pretty solid. I haven't had bad wings.
I would never even.
Not that I've been to a lot of strip clubs.
You have been, or you haven't been to one?
I have not been.
Okay. I've been to one. I couldn't even tell you what the strip club was called. I know it's on a little service road in Madison, Wisconsin. That's all.
In Houston, Club Paradise.
I feel like I was in Houston recently, and there was no strip club that I was taken to.
I feel like that's kind of tacky, Adam. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
Club Paradise?
It's the name of the strip club.
We'll talk about that.
That's what it was. It was. What up, Chad?
Polish founder knows a thing or two, huh?
There's no way I would have figured that out. There's no. He way.
Said, "Visions, yeah."
Strip club bring a different. It's always a movie when you leave there. When you go in one.
Like we had to sit in the front row because it was a bachelor party, and I'm looking. I took out $100 because I didn't know what the was, right. I'm already getting heamed up by these ATM fees, right? So I'm already before I even sit down. Okay, and I get a drink, and then I look to my left and to my right, and my boy and his boy are making fucking money pyramids, and I'm like, what are we doing here? And then this girl comes out, and then she starts like crawling over. I'm awkward as it is. Right? I'm freaking out. I'm sweating, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the back of my knees are sweating right now. And my friends are like, they're sitting back, they're loving it, and they have their little like dollar pyramid, and she starts with her booty cheek pick up the dollars, and I was like, oh no, this is not for me. This is not for me. Licking her lips and shit, and then she looks at me, and then I just break eye contact right away. You can't take me to a strip club because I'm too awkward. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Was you at least an expert on night 2?
Huh? Was I an expert?
You said
shout out to the Forest Deacons. We love that. Was I an expert on night 2? No. I at least showed up with cash.
I'm proud of you. Good. Yeah, because you didn't want to get that $15 ATM fee again.
Boy,
that $15 could have been your wings.
I just feel in that establishment, I was not thinking they even had a kitchen, let alone good food.
Good food out of the kitchen. Yeah, for sure.
I just imagine just fried cheese curds coming out in a little, like one of them little red baskets with like one of them liners. Like that's all they were gonna have in that place. So anyway, that really got off the rails.
It happens.
We went a little farther into strip clubs as I thought. So we'll fly through the NBA playoffs. So we're either in game 1 or game 2 at this point. Starting in the Eastern Conference, Tyler was talking about James Harden being washed. Do we agree with him? Is this the new normal for James Harden?
I saw him get into a cook-up late in the second quarter, so I think he's fine.
I think he's fine too. I think it's tough out there with against the Miami Heat.
They said we like DeAndre Jordan, so we're going to keep starting them.
Yeah, that was wild. DeAndre Jordan had no business starting a playoff game in 2022.
That's
how you lose.
I can't remember which one of you said that you don't trust Doc Rivers, but
it was theirs.
Why?
Because he makes decisions like that, right?
So, do you think the Heat are gonna sweep them?
I think Embiid comes back.
Embiid got to give you one, right?
I think he comes back game 3.
Okay, so game 3 would be in Philly.
Yes,
game 4 would be in Philly on Friday.
Yes, I think he tries to play. I don't know if he'll be healthy, but I think he at least tries to play game 3.
Okay, so I mean. Do we think this is the new normal for James Harden? I mean, like when I see him cooking up, like he'll be like a flash in the pan cook up, but I feel like he's not getting by anybody like he was before.
I mean, how old is he?
I think he's 32.
32, 33. I mean, this is when players start declining. You know, we saw it with Kobe, we saw it with T-Mac, I guess Bo too, different caliber, but you know, saw it with Tim Duncan, AI when they get 33, 34, Dirk, they just it happened. It might be happening to KD right now too, for all we know.
Well, and Westbrook, he just doesn't take care of himself. Like he's shutting down clubs. Like
that too.
I feel like with nutrition, how nutrition is, and you know, technology, things like that, in terms of all of that stuff, I feel like players should be able to be in their prime a little bit longer. And I feel like it's choices at this point for James Harden as to why he's not
in their prime longer. I don't know. Competitive longer, yes, I agree. But
maybe that's what I mean.
I mean, I think he's still.
I mean,
I think he's still top 5 scorer in the NBA.
I think he can score, but I think to combine with the age, the definite the rule changes that he's had to deal with this year. I mean, obviously that's not beneficial to his game. He's not he's not getting the same calls and things that he used to getting. So I mean, yeah, it's an adjustment. You adjust to the rules and stuff, but like he's a little older, and he still plays the same way. He doesn't get those same calls. He doesn't live at the free throw line as much anymore. I think officials are definitely becoming better and more aware of his kind of the way he draws fouls and the way fouls look for him. So he doesn't really get as many calls he probably should.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if washed is the word. I don't think he can, carry a team like he used to. But if he's my number 2 option, then I'm feeling pretty confident.
Pretty damn good.
Is your number 2, and I think that's what he is.
2 quick shout outs, sorry, before we move on to the next series. Cody, Polish Pounder 8, pause. Amazon Prime sub.
Need that. Need the Prime.
So sorry, I'm a little late on these. And Noodlehead.
Yeah, Noodlehead.
Tier 1 sub on a 4-month streak. So
sell out.
We appreciate
OG
you both. Yes. So yeah, appreciate you guys, and yeah, we appreciate that. Okay, so moving on to Celtics and the Bucks series. Rebound game for the Celtics. I didn't think that they were going to shoot that bad. I thought they settled for way too many threes in game 1, and I thought there's no way Jaylen Brown was going to have that bad of a game today, and he came out in a heat check. Scored like 25 in the first half or something like that. It was nuts.
I don't know if I like the adjustment that they made. I feel like in the first game they were kind of letting the Bucks defense dictate their offense. So like a lot of late shot clock possessions. They were aggressive off the rip. Jaylen Brown said, "You can't guard me. I'm gonna show you why." That it helps you hit a franchise record in threes, but and the Bucks hit 3, which is the worst in the last decade? Is decade 10 years?
It is.
Decade is 10 years. Yep. Always.
Yeah.
pretty uniform.
But yeah, good game. I think it's gonna be a good series. Good adjustments. Now we'll see what happens when the Bucks adjust.
I think the C's need to win game 3 on Saturday. I think it's very important that we still home court back. I think it's very important you win game 3, in my opinion. I think a split is also a win, obviously, but I think to take control of the series, I think you have to win game 3.
Yeah.
Hopefully Marcus Smart will be back.
We'll see what Giannis decides to do game 3.
Yeah, I mean, we bottled them up. We bottled them up for 28 points, but I don't know. Giannis at home is different. So.
Yeah, Giannis was. I don't know if y'all watched the game. Giannis was playing like he literally looked like Derrick Henry out there.
Yeah,
running fullback dive.
I wish he would basket. Please, so I can just run you over. Like put his hands on so I can run you over real quick and get to this dunk.
That's all he.
It's really
the ball, put his head down, and I'm gonna get to the rim.
I'm just thinking about how like people are just like LeBron went last in the 80s against like the Pistons or whatever. Giannis is Euro stepping through Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas and windmilling on Bill Laimbeer. Every possession he's doing that. It's crazy how insane Giannis is. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm terrified of that man because I just don't know what you're gonna do. Okay, so moving on to the Western Conference, we got the Phoenix Suns and the Lucas.
Speaking of bottling, I saw a clip, or not a clip. It was a tweet about how the Suns shut down Luka yesterday, and I was like, yeah, 40. Yeah. So it was like,
that shut me down. Sign me up.
The clip said, or the clipping said, Paul and the Suns shut down Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm like, did they shut down Luka Doncic because he had 40?
Which, yeah, Luka was hooping.
He gonna do that, right? Like he, in the playoffs, no, he can do that.
My thing with the Mavericks.
You think the Mavs are gonna rebound game 2?
I think they do because I think they play better. But I said this on Twitter and people kind of got on me for it a little bit. Like the Mavericks, their defensive stats look good. Like if you look, they're like a top 5 defense, but I just feel like it's overrated and they're really small, and I just don't see that. That's why I thought Utah should have beat them.
True.
And like I think what did Dwight Powell had 1 rebound and Maxi Kleber had 1 rebound. Those are your 2 bigs.
I've never been like a Dwight Powell fan because I just don't know what he does well. And maybe like I just don't watch the Mavs enough. I just don't know what he does well. I know what Maxi Kleber can do, but I don't know. Dwight Powell just kind of there. I feel like he's like Larry Nance to me.
So quick takeaways from the Mavericks game. I thought one, the game should be a lot closer, assuming that the Mavericks don't shoot that bad again to start the game. They threw themselves into a hole early. So if they don't shoot that bad, it'll be a closer game. 2, I don't think you're going to see a lot of rebounds from Maxey and from Dwight Powell, mainly because we switch everything, which is not great. But we switch everything.
Yeah, we about by 20.
We switch well, that's because we got Luka and Dorian Finney-Smith as our rebounders, just because we switch everything or run doubles at Devin Booker to get him off the ball. A lot of that it's not going to help them get rebounds. With that being said, the Mavs are very small. I did like the adjustment that they went with to end the game where they put Dorian on DeAndre Ayton. If Dorian can play similar to, I can't remember who guarded DeAndre Ayton, whether it was in the Pelican series or anyway, DeAndre Ayton seems to struggle with smaller players sometimes. So if Dorian can do that, then they'll be fine. The Suns, though, the one thing that the people don't realize are the Suns are not the Lakers, and everybody tries to draw comparisons to the Mavs 2011 team. They are not that 2011 team. They're so much better, and they have dudes who can put the ball in the basket. Cam Johnson.
In fact, he even started with Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson had 17.
Sure.
Cam Johnson, Michael Britt. I mean, obviously, Devin Booker can score and Chris Paul can score. So outside of them, Cam Johnson, they threw in Torrey Craig. I don't think he scored, but he was wide open. Landry Shamet. They got so many guys they can run out and play, and it's just, I don't know. So
Landry Shamet just always seems to find a way to be on my TV. And
on my TV, Twitter.
In playoff basketball, you just always see Landry Shamet pop up.
Just for no reason.
He'll take pictures. He'll be on a video. They'll have a little quick like recap of the games, and on one of the 4 pictures, it'll be Landry Shamet.
It's why.
Somehow he always, I don't know. Nobody asks you, man.
Right. Yeah, the Mavericks, like, they're obviously undersized.
Yep.
But they also look slow. Like the Nets were just the Suns were just running by him. It was like a track meet. They didn't look like athletes. Like the Suns were just more athletic.
I think they are though.
I think they are, and I don't think that's good if a team is faster than you and taller than you. I think it's tough.
The Mavs defense definitely has to be better. Definitely.
I agree. Okay. So Grizzlies, Warriors. Who's winning that game right now? It's tied. 12 and a half left in the fourth. So we still feeling good about the Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
am, but I think it's gonna be tight.
It's tough. It's definitely tough. Game one proves it's gonna be a tougher series than like we initially thought.
I think so too.
And I feel like if you're an underdog, even though the Grizzlies are a 2 seed, I feel like they're underdog in this series, right?
I mean, yeah, it's the Warriors. You know, it's just like teams play Kansas City, no matter what seed they are.
Right.
They're always gonna be a favorite.
And I feel like if an underdog is going to steal a game, they have to steal game one.
That was a game to steal. It was right in front of them.
Right there.
Well, it was right there. They got to win tonight because they're the home team. So it's you have everything going right for you right now.
Right.
At home. You're gonna go to Oracle. It's not gonna be pretty when they go to Oakland. So better figure it out.
I could see like all the series being one of those series where all the games are tight, but the Warriors win, 4-1. But every game is decided by like 2 points.
Yeah, which would be extremely frustrating for the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Or if you look at it half glass full, it's like you're right there with the Warriors. And that Warriors team, this is probably the last run with at least Clay, Steph, and Draymond all together. I think this offseason or next season is probably going to look like a different Warriors team. So
unless somebody takes a pay cut, yeah.
If I'm Clay, I'm not doing that.
You don't think you wouldn't?
No.
I got mine.
I got my rings.
You got paid too, though, huh?
Yeah.
You might
not
have.
I would have to see what the market or like what teams
offer you. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like
if it's the Hornets, you're like, like not.
Hornets, I don't know. The Cavs would be a little interesting. I don't know.
Mavs.
The Mavericks could be interesting, honestly.
That's who I think they should go.
If I'm Clay, I would entertain that.
I would too.
Or what if he went to the Lakers? That'd be nuts. That would never happen, but that'd be nuts.
I think there are some teams who are a piece away. Now, I'm not saying Clay's going to go there, but there are some teams who are right there that could use a Klay Thompson, like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies could use a Klay Thompson. I don't think they shoot the ball particularly well. I think they have really Desmond Bane, and that's about it. So
Jaren Jackson.
Sorry, but I think they don't shoot the ball particularly well, so they could use a Klay Thompson. The Mavericks could obviously use a Klay Thompson. The Cavs would be a good one. They could use could use Klay. The Bucks could use a Klay Thompson too. So
that would be an insane lineup if you had Drew Holiday, Klay Thompson, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. That'd be nuts. I would hate that.
Tough to beat. A lot of defense.
The Bulls could use Klay Thompson too.
Yeah, I'm just in terms of position. I don't know how that they would have to either move. They would have to move Zach LaVine if you're gonna do that.
Or I think that they would.
Yeah, I think
small. Zach LaVine is due money, is he not?
Yes, they have to make a decision on Zach LaVine. So I like Zach LaVine. I like Zach LaVine personally, but if for some reason we could go get a Bradley Beal, I need somebody to save Bradley Beal out of Washington.
If Zach LaVine is on the open market and the Dallas Mavericks don't kick the tires, I'm gonna be hot.
I think he would be a great fit. Luka just needs another defined
score the ball. Please score the ball. Somebody score the basketball.
Yeah, I feel so bad watching Luka Doncic play basketball sometimes.
I don't because he not coming off of that thing.
That's what I say. I don't because he don't pass.
But you don't think that he would more, or he wouldn't feel like he has to do everything if he had Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal or.
Depends on the player. I think it depends on the player. If it was Zach LaVine or Brad, Yes, I think he would.
25.
Obviously, he'd move out a little bit. If it was Klay Thompson, maybe not. Maybe not so much. Right. Maybe not so much. So somebody that's more of a shooter, Buddy Hield, somebody like that, then I don't think so.
I was not expecting to hear Buddy Hield today.
those are the kind of names that kind of bounce around with the Mavericks. Sure. Buddy Hield, players like that. Those are names that we kind of get. So
I don't know. I really want. I'm interested in what they're going to do with Zach LaVine in the offseason. I really want Bradley Beal to get out of Washington. I feel like he wants to stay.
He's got to want to go. He doesn't. I don't think he wants to go bad enough.
Just signed a new deal.
I know, and it's on him at this point.
I felt sorry for him. Then he signed a new deal. Like, okay,
yeah, it's on him. I think Damian Lillard too is another one where it's just
he's gone. Him. I think he's about gone.
Where do you think he's gonna go?
He just signed money, so I think that someone's gonna get him out of Portland. I think. I don't think they're ready to move on, but originally it sounded like they were in it for the long haul together, and then recently it's been like, they want to trade me, let them go.
We could see a name Donovan Mitchell swap.
No, I don't.
Ew.
I don't see Dame going any. I don't see him going to a small market, another small team.
That doesn't do anything for him.
No, I don't see.
You have a choice.
Well, I think he'll have the choice though.
I'm sure he has some sort of clause, right?
Well, I don't think he has a clause, but I think Portland respects him enough to kind of have a gentleman's agreement where it's like, Now, granted, it depends on where he goes, right? So, for example, if the Pelicans say we can offer you this, the Pelicans got the pieces. It'll be like, yeah, I mean, sorry, Dame, that's tough. Go have fun in New Orleans.
I think he would be fine with that, honestly. He
commented on how he was kind of jealous
right now.
He commented on kind of how he was jealous about how much fun he sees CJ McCollum having with the Pelicans.
Exactly.
So I think if somebody like, the Pelicans kick the tires, or the Cavs, somebody like I said, somebody like that.
I don't like the Cavs.
The Cavs are a team that can offer them a good settlement for Damian Lillard. The Cavs have
send him to Miami. That's what I want to see him. Send him to Miami.
Miami has the pieces as well. They have Oladipo. They have Duncan Robinson.
Like that?
Man, I'll get Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero.
No, not 6 man of the year. Tyler Hero. Price
is Damian Lillard. Who cares? Okay. Right. Anyways, they gonna have Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and I give him a second. Give me Dame.
Victor Oladipo.
They can have him too.
Wow, I don't know.
Give me Dame, Duncan, and Jimmy, and Bam. I'm good.
Okay, and then what's your bench look like?
Figure that out.
And all those other.
Okay, so then, then you're the Lakers.
No, come on.
No bench. And if one of them gets hurt, it's chalked.
They got Kendrick Nunn. They got PJ. You can figure it out.
Kendrick Nunn's in Los Angeles.
Whatever.
You wouldn't know because he actually didn't play all year, but he's in Los Angeles.
Last thing that was like top of mind for me, it was Minnesota. I was hearing some things with D'Angelo Russell possibly reuniting with the Lakers.
The
swap with Westbrook.
Yeah, that'll never.
I kind of like.
I saw that on Twitter. For who?
I like it for the Lakers.
I'll say it doesn't make any sense to you, the Timberwolves.
No.
The Lakers, the Lakers. Yeah. Any trade where the Lakers get rid of Russell Westbrook is good for them.
But Russell Westbrook, Pat Bev, same team.
Ooh,
run it. Count me in.
Hey, that could be some Marcus Peters, George Pickens.
Count me in.
I do feel bad a little bit for Russell Westbrook because I mean he put up the same numbers he always gonna put up, but he just got a bunch of shit for him being him. Like you knew what you were gonna get. What did you expect him to be? You know what I mean?
I thought
Russell played fine for the most part.
Yeah,
the team was just constructed bad.
they were horrible and they needed a scapegoat. Honestly,
yeah. But I think honestly, I mean, I love LeBron. I think I'm a big LeBron defender because I think he gets a lot of shit. But I think this is like this is probably like the first year where it's like, yeah, this is LeBron's fault.
I thought
he could have kept Alex Caruso. He could have kept.
I wouldn't say it's LeBron's fault.
I would say it's his fault. I think, he definitely obviously made his opinion known as to who he wanted.
Right.
And they went with that. I think they made bad personnel moves. I don't think it was solely on LeBron. They made some bad personnel moves by not choosing Buddy Hield, by letting Alex Caruso walk.
KCP.
I thought KCP would have been good. I thought Montrez had to go. I thought they did right with letting Montrez go. I thought Montrez had to go, but Caruso and we just said his name.
KCP.
KCP. I thought they would have been good additions. I think KCP leaving was fine because you assume Kendrick Nunn would play. Didn't. Yep. So that hurts. And then you can't really replace Caruso with Austin Reeves. Didn't work like that.
Yeah.
Which is what they tried to get away with. I think Austin Reeves though is going to be solid.
I think so.
But they lost way too many pieces and didn't get enough pieces back. The Westbrook thing wouldn't have looked as bad if they had Kendrick Nunn. I don't think they didn't. So it looks horrible. He has to play so many minutes and he can't make a layup. I think it's because he lost some vert. I think that's what the issue is. He's not up high enough, which is why he's missing so many dunks and so many layups and stuff. Just looks bad. I think he needs to really get back into what feels like Russell Westbrook basketball shape. I don't know if he can, but he needs to get back to that and they'll be all right.
I think that, you can't fault LeBron for AD being hurt and things like that. But in terms of, Anthony Davis is injury prone. So this already. So it's preparing for that. You don't expect Anthony Davis to play an 82 game season plus playoffs, assuming you're going to make the playoffs. And I don't think that the way that team was constructed, he has enough influence to have the front office prepare for things like that. And I don't think that he did.
If the NBA offseason is anything like the NFL offseason, we could be in for the greatest sports year of all time.
I agree. I'm really interested on all these offseason moves by the NBA. I obviously love the NBA playoffs and I don't want it to fast forward, but I'm very interested on how NBA offseason is going to play out. So
we could see a lot of stars moving around.
This is the best sports time of the year.
Yep.
In my opinion.
So, yep.
I'm really excited. Outside of the start of college football and the NFL. But other than that, yeah. Why is DeMarcus FaceTiming me right now?
Nate just FaceTimed me, so somebody said something bogus.
Probably, yeah, I assume. Or they need us to carry them on duty. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drop on control. I'm gonna pick up a gun. And I'm gonna get into it.
Anyways,
I stay carrying Adam. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
Never. We got screenshots.
Adam played duty one time and ain't done that since.
I played duty and I was out fragging y'all. I got bored with it. Okay, I still got it. I'm done.
I'm about to turn my Xbox on right now. Anyway, the interview with NFL college football senior analyst Tyler Henderson went a little longer than expected. So we were going to talk Champions League, but we were going to do that Thursday. So we're going to dedicate time block for Champions League so we can talk about
champion.
Hopefully the Stars will beat up 1-0.
Say that again.
Hopefully the Stars will be up 1-0.
Yeah.
Playoff, baby. Playoff hockey.
Playoff hockey is lit, by the way.
Okay. I agree.
yes. Playoff hockey is lit. I'm about to watch it right now.
I think playoff hockey is for us. You know what I mean? To where the casuals, I follow hockey enough to where I always know what's going on. But yeah, sorry about that. Dallas
Bums.
But I mean, the Blackhawks, when they had a great run in the early 2010s, was great, and then the Blackhawks are just nowhere to be found now. And now I live in Bruins country where they love the Bruins 24/7, so it's hard for me right now. But
Marc-Andre Fleury.
I mean, I was pumped when the Hawks had Marc-Andre Fleury, and then they shipped him off midseason. So it is what it is. But anyway, we will be back Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a football game Thursday, so we'll be on after
we'll
football.
be late.
I got slang the pill around, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get drafted too. You know what I'm saying? NFL QB class is weak. So I think I'm getting drafted above Bailey Zapp. So my guy Jack Cohen didn't get drafted, of course.
Of course.
But anyway, we'll be back Thursday. If you didn't watch the live show, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you can re-listen. You can listen back to the show, but we'll be back Thursday.
Here.
See you later. Oh, Unsung Heroes of the Week on Thursday too. Let's go. I feel like Eric's about to say something bogus as a sign.